the example of, traditional masculinity, he was it.
Okay.
John Dutton was it. And his son, yes.
I've never seen the show, dude.
Super intelligent.
Yes,
right?
Smarter than everybody else, but yet almost acts like a dude.
Acts just like a dude. And is in love with Rip. And Rip is in love with her.
And they can't let that happen because John, what's he going to think with Rip
He's
dating
okay
his daughter?
with it. He's okay with it.
He is?
Yep.
Huh.
They eventually get married.
But I think that there is this level of fear that guys have that if I seem too macho, like too much machismo going on, then you just seem dumb. And you're the meathead. And I got it. I can handle everything. And I think like that person, I'm like, hey man, like you get it. You can beat up everybody. Like you're the strongest one. Like I get it, bro. And I'm like, dude's a moron. Well, you know what? Like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. Michael Jordan was a leader, and it was evident by the way he carried himself that other people knew because he was going to do things and demand things from his team. Kobe had some of that, but it was still kind of scripted because he wanted to model so much of what he did because the way that he watched Michael Jordan do things. Mm-hmm. Hardest, most pressure moment you've ever had in the 9 years you've been on Earth, and you just delivered for your team with a hit right there to keep the season alive.
Yeah.
And after I was like, dude, I know it's a tough loss, after we were talking about it, I was like, but that's a big moment, man. Like you kept your nerves in check. Like they changed the pitcher. You had a new pitcher come in there, brand new pitcher. Never saw him. He gets up there and you delivered. You got a hit in a big time moment right there for your team. Like that's something to be proud of, like y'all finished third at the World Series. I was like, yeah, he goes, all I kept thinking about was that Kobe picture you showed me yesterday. I was like, what was that? And he said, yeah, you don't remember? Like you showed it to me. He said, that's all I was thinking about when I was on deck. And it said, I'm never going to be nervous in a situation because if I'm nervous, it means I'm unprepared. Definition, masculinity, things like courage, leadership, those are probably two, just adjectives that come to mind, that I think of that are synonymous with masculinity.
Welcome to the New Dad Order Podcast. This episode is brought to you by Burns Estate Planning and Wealth Advisors. With 12 locations from here in Hammond, Louisiana, all the way over to Florida, they can help you with any kind of financial planning or retirement planning. We have all their information in the description below. My name is Ray. We got Parfait over there.
How's it going, everybody? Ray, how are you doing?
Again, I'm doing well.
Always.
Doing well.
That one day you're going to say you're not doing well. I'm going to have a whole different episode.
I think so.
That's all right. No, it's always good to be doing well.
Ask you straight out. Mm-hmm. Masculinity. What is your definition of masculinity?
Real quick before we get started, guys, Thursday. Thursday is the thing that I have relied on over the last 8 months to get me back into recovery and get a good night's sleep. It doesn't have melatonin. It has everything your body needs to get back to recovery, to get a good workout in. Use the promo code NDOZZZ to get a discounted checkout. Definition, masculinity, things like courage, leadership, those are probably two, just adjectives that come to mind, that I think of that are synonymous with masculinity. Being able to lead. I think that that's a strong characteristic of a masculine person. Courage is the thing that you have to have when you're vulnerable. So when we're talking about vulnerability and those moments like that, that's what courage is, being brave in the face of a vulnerable moment, right? It's easy to be.
When you say a vulnerable moment, what do you mean by a vulnerable moment?
I mean, it could be
having courage in a vulnerable moment. Define that vulnerable moment.
I think it can mean anything from an emotionally vulnerable moment to to a physically vulnerable moment.
All right, let's go. Let's talk about the emotional vulnerable moment. With courage.
I guess death in the family. You're there. You're supposed to be. By societal standards, we've always said, the guy's got to be, you got to be the strong one as the man. I think that there is a certain moment where that is the need as a man in the setting to be strong because emotionally you're hurt because you're experiencing loss. Someone that you loved and cared about someone that you loved is no longer here and emotionally you're hurt by it. But so is everybody else that's in that circle. Someone in that circle has to put their feelings on the side for a moment to be stronger for the person who can't handle their feelings at that time. Not saying that you can't revisit those and break down and have your own moment of, of just complete reflection and kind of meltdown, I guess, so to speak, not, just to let it all go emotionally. The situation is going to dictate who needs to be that strong person in that moment. And sometimes the person who you would expect to be the strongest person in that moment, man, they can't keep it together just because they're hurt that hard. Stepping up in that moment right there is a sign. It doesn't make that person less masculine, but to me, that is a characteristic of masculinity, of being able to read the room and see that right now, like, they need me to be that rock.
And that would be the courage under emotion. Okay.
Yeah.
Physically,
Matt, from a physical vulnerability standpoint, walking through the streets of New Orleans. All right. When the National Guard's not on duty. So, no, I mean, think about it, though. Like, you're in a public setting and you're in somewhat of a dangerous place. Take a trip out of town, make it even more vulnerable to where, like, there's no chance of you running into somebody you know. You're with your family as a man, provider, protector.
Mm-hmm.
And it's any setting whatsoever. It does not matter. My wife and my son, we go to Disney World. I don't know if there's some unhinged person walking around Disney World or not. If something was to go, there's two people that is going to look to one person without a doubt to protect them. And that's the two people that I'm there with.
Right.
So they would expect that. Mm-hmm. So, meanwhile, I don't know what's going on, but being able to be confident that they are confident in me, well, yeah, whatever's going to have to happen is going to have to happen, no matter if it's in the most wonderful place on earth, or if it's walking through the streets of St. Louis where they have the highest crime rate and murder rate there is. Mm-hmm. And we were walking to a St. Louis Cardinals game from downtown and we hear gunshots going off outside our hotel. And yeah, like, it's a crazy spot. What do we do? Walk behind them? No, we got this. We're walking. We're in a crowd. We're good.
Yeah.
Put them in a situation that, where, yeah, it's a dangerous city, but I don't want them to feel scared. That makes sense?
It does. What
about you? Flip it right back to you, unless you got something else to say before that.
Well, no. I think, there's that traditional masculinity norms where the guy's just really stoic. Where men are stoic. They're not showing emotions. And I think, with the physical part is we're going to lock eyes with everybody. Just want to see what's going on. We're locking eyes with everybody. I'm not going to stare. I'm locking eyes with everybody. I'm just going to I'm showing you that if something goes down, be careful. We're doing all that out there. The emotional part, I think that also is just, you can't show emotions, traditionally.
Okay. You're talking about by the traditional definition of the word.
In a situation where someone has passed away or something really bad has happened, you've got to show that strength.
And when do you break?
By yourself.
Yeah.
By yourself. Yeah, because, vulnerability, what is it, equated with weakness, undermining men's willingness to seek help?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it can be. But, man, we're told we got to be sensitive now, right?
Now. But traditionally, that wasn't our thing.
Yeah, I think that leads to a lot of chemical dependency, too.
I think that's why, you look at cowboys.
Not the ones you like.
Traditionally.
Oh.
No. Not those guys.
All right.
Not the football team.
All right.
No, just cowboys, like old Westerns.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, it's the tough guy in the movie. It's
the Clint Eastwood.
Yeah. They're the badass. Like that kind of thing. Like,
nothing phases them.
I mean, that's a movie.
But it had to come from somewhere.
Yeah, but they also got dudes that got their butts beat in the Wild West, too. Not everybody was tough.
Well, there's some Weasley guys that always showed their vulnerability. Right? They showed that they were pretty weak. They wouldn't look you in the eye. I know a lot of guys like that.
I know. So you think that still holds up today? That, like, you shouldn't be, like, you keep that bottled in?
I don't think it does hold up today. Do
you think it should? Or do you think we should keep that in?
No.
I mean, I don't think we need.
I don't think you should be walking around crying about everything.
No, I don't think we should be. I think there's definitely like a middle ground in there, and I think that's probably the pendulum way too far on one side of, like, keep everything in, never show emotion, never cry, never do this, don't do whatever. Even if you cry by yourself, you're still weak. And then like, oh, get in touch with your feminine side, get in touch with your, be vulnerable. And that's what we should do. And everybody should. And I'm like, yeah, like that's way too far to the other side.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, and even, I don't even know. I think we probably shouldn't even be in the middle. We should probably be closer to the hold it inside, I think, as a guy. I think it's okay. I think we're wired to do that. I think that's part of I think that's just DNA. I think that keeps you, I think being on edge is an okay thing. Like, obviously, being close to the edge of falling off is not. I mean, that's the extreme.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, like, having something that you're keeping in forces a little bit of drive, forces you to have an outlet, like just keeping a little bit of rage, right? Just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's an okay thing to have because it'll provoke some motivation, provoke some emotion for certain things, opposed to just being completely out in the open. Everything, I'm an open book. Ask me it all must have, and then it's just like, man, I don't think everybody wants to hear that. So.
No, I totally agree with that. Even we as men, when we see that guy that's traditionally masculine, is very, very stoic in those types of situations. Like, I obviously wasn't in the military. I don't
No,
I don't think you were in the military. But we see those movies, and they all look to that guy. And it may not be the captain, it may not be the lieutenant. It may be that NCO, and they look to that guy because of the way he carries himself.
I know, but like once again, like that's
he doesn't let a lot of the vulnerability out.
I know, but I think that like there is an aspect of, I mean, it's Hollywood. They're forcing your emotions to look at that person in the way that they want you to look at it because like he's the one that's going to save the day in the end.
There is that.
So
you ever see the show Band of Brothers?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That's what I started thinking about.
But then they put some really weak characters in there too because they need that guy to be the strong. They always have someone that's somewhat weak that needs the guy to be strong for them, and then person. But it's a movie. Like it's not.
Well, it's a show that it was a show that sort of took real life stories. I mean, you saw it,
right? Yeah. I mean, it was an HBO series, great series. Yeah, Ross from Friends is in it.
Yeah, I loved who he played. But like, there were a bunch of stoic guys, traditional masculine guys, as soldiers. Didn't show a lot of vulnerability.
Yeah,
but there was always that like alpha that they looked up to.
I think nowadays too, the fear. I say fear, and I use that term loosely. I don't think it's a genuine fear scared of. But I think that there is this level of fear that guys have that if I seem too macho, like too much machismo going on, then you just seem dumb. And you're the meathead. And I got it. I can handle everything. And I think like that person, I'm like, hey man, like we get it. You can beat up everybody. Like you're the strongest one. Like I get it, bro. And I'm like, dude's a moron. Yeah, it starts to come off as like some insecurity. And I'm like, bro, why are you so insecure? In my head, I'm thinking this, like the guy who is just like, I can handle it. I'm the one. Everybody lean on me. And I'm like, this dude needs, he has to have the need for everybody to need him. Then it's like, so what's the line of like masculinity or
that's narcissism
or egotistical? Yeah.
That's narcissism.
Or having like, so
I get it, but that's going beyond because now he's always did it. I could do this. I could do that. Follow me. I know the right way to go. We're gonna get it done.
Yeah, I guess that's so like he's actually verbalizing how much more alpha he is than everybody
when he's not,
opposed to the guy who actually
just
does it.
Is quiet and just does it.
Like the quiet leader, so to speak, like the guy who doesn't say a lot, but when he says it, everybody listens type thing. It just seems like everything's a bad movie. And I don't mean that like in the reference. I think like it's easy to put characters of the way you think that word should be used based off of like, I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, well, if you do that, then you're kind of cheesy. It doesn't seem genuine. I'm like, well, you know what? Like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. Michael Jordan was a leader and it was evident by the way he carried himself that other people knew because he was going to do things and demand things from his teammates. Kobe had some of that, but it was still kind of scripted because he wanted to model so much of what he did because the way that he watched Michael Jordan do things, right? Like as a kid and then, played against him for like 5 minutes in the NBA. And it was just like, I need some of that. Well, Kobe had a lot of that in him, but it was a little more out there. He put a little more out there and it was just kind of like, dude, don't try so hard. Like the stuff he did in the public. And then you go a step further and you have LeBron, whose I know, he's one of the first stars. His entire career was consumed on a play-by-play basis through social media. Like he was only as good as his last possession because it became an Instagram post or a Twitter post. Like
that's a good point.
Like he had to go through it in a different way.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So to where Kobe didn't have to do that, and he came straight into the NBA after high school. But his first 3 years, he was not super productive. Guess what? That'd have been his freshman, his sophomore, his junior year. Then he'd left the college a year early. In his fourth year, he came into his own. So he kind of got to mature behind the scenes because not every single possession was judged on Twitter.
That's correct. Yeah.
But LeBron wasn't. And so LeBron's whole persona seems so fake. He seems like fake masculinity to me. Because
up to a point, yeah. No, I agree.
Because it doesn't come off as genuine. People saw him as a leader because his skill set was so much better. Obviously, he had great work ethic. You don't get to, do what he did if you don't have great work ethic. But it became more of look, this is what we're going to do. Every single thing he did, I'll never forget. I'll judge him every day. Not that he cares, but whenever someone brings up the bubble title, the not real championship that they won in the bubble, and he sat, they won the championship with the Lakers, and he took his shoes off, and he sat in the middle of the court, and he crossed his legs, and he looked around because he was like, I'm going to have my moment where they're going to take pictures of me winning this championship, and it's going to look so cool on the cover of whatever magazine.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, no, dude, you look like a douche.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the guy that's doing too much.
He's doing
that's a little bit
much.
of narcissism right there.
It's a lot of narcissism.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He lives in it daily.
100%.
I had to stop following him on social media.
Yeah, I'm just like when he said, "I'm the best. I'm the best ever." When he called himself out as the best.
Yeah,
ever.
he saw it as a move of no, I'm saying it because I worked this hard, and it's just it doesn't come off as genuine. It comes off as scripted.
Yeah. Did Jordan ever do that? No.
And he wasn't the greatest guy in the world, which leads me to and LeBron seems like a genuinely good dude. Jordan, obviously, a lot of people don't like him from a personal standpoint. I mean, the dude invited people from high school and all to his Hall of Fame, and so he can talk crap to him to his Hall of Fame induction. You know what I mean? That's a different level of pettiness. You know what I mean?
Great.
To where LeBron's going to invite 5,000 underprivileged kids to his because he wants to give them the opportunity. I think he has a genuinely a good heart, but he also wants to be the alpha dog, and I don't think he was ever really looked that way.
I think Kobe was the guy that was right there, right down the middle.
I think he was a little bit
really
above.
hard.
Yeah,
worked really hard. Talked about how you work really hard. I mean, I've used the quote.
I listen so much stuff to what Kobe does.
Yeah, I've used the quote in order to not be nervous. I'm not. I don't think I'm quoting it correctly.
No,
you got to be prepared.
No, so the quote you're talking about is
practice.
Yes. Well, there was one. This was a real life moment, right? My little boy and them, we played our travel baseball season, and we also played rec ball season. So travel baseball, you get to pick and choose whatever World Series you go to if you just pay an entry fee, and they have 8,000 World Series that don't mean anything.
Yeah.
But in the rec ball part of it, there's a lot of travel ball teams that end up playing some rec ball stuff. A lot of all the Little League World Series teams and stuff that show up on TV. All those kids play travel ball. You know what I mean? Then they end up playing rec ball, and rec ball is how they get to the Little League World Series by playing through that organization. We played through DYB, formerly Dixie Youth Baseball. Now it's Diamond Youth Baseball. They did definitely change the name.
Wow.
Yeah, it's Diamond Youth Baseball. So DYB, right? So that's the league that we played in for rec ball. The boys played district. They won district. You win, you move on. You lose, you go home. They won district. Then we go to state. So then we go to state. They win state. Win state, you get to go to the World Series. That's a regional World Series. It's 13, 14 states that get to qualify for it.
Yeah.
The boys won the state tournament. They earned their spot, went to Texarkana. We make it all the way to the semifinal game where we lost in the semifinal game by 3 runs, whatever it was, 2 or 3 runs. We lost 3-1. And it's 3-0, bottom of the 6th, 2 outs, bases loaded. Every parent's favorite moment, your kid comes up to bat.
Oh, yeah.
My kid comes up to bat, bases loaded, down by 3, 2 outs, bottom of the last inning, and he's got 2 strikes on him. He rips a single up the middle, scores a run, game keeps going. I'm like, good gosh, dude. Like, you just, hardest, most pressure moment you've ever had in the 9 years you've been on Earth, and you just delivered for your team with a hit right there to keep the season alive.
Yeah.
And after, I was like, dude, I'm like, I know it's a tough loss. After we were talking about it, I was like, but, like, it's a big moment, man. Like, you kept your nerves in check. Like, they changed the pitcher. You had a new pitcher come in there, brand new pitcher. Never saw him. He gets up there, and and you delivered. You got a hit in a big time moment right there for your team. Like, that's something to be proud of, Like, y'all finished 3rd at the World Series. He's like, yeah. He goes, all I kept thinking about was that Kobe picture you showed me yesterday. I was like, what? I was like, what was that? And he said, yeah, you don't remember? Like, you showed it to me. He said, that's all I was thinking about when I was on deck. And it said, I'm never going to be nervous in a situation, because if I'm nervous, it means I'm unprepared.
That's it. Yeah.
He said, that's all I kept thinking about. He goes, there's no reason. I was just thinking on deck. He's like, there's no reason for me to be nervous. I'm prepared.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, man, he's 9 years old and dropping that back at me right there.
Wow. That's awesome. Yeah. I've used that with the kids, and it's worked.
Yeah.
and it has worked.
Yeah.
So that's why I think Kobe's that guy. It's right down the middle. I think I talked about cowboys.
Yeah.
Being like the stoic guys. You ever watch the show Yellowstone?
Yeah. I feel like less of a dude right now because I never got into it.
No?
No. I'm not going to say never got into it. I never attempted it. Everybody likes it. Everybody loves it. And it's right up there. It's on that Star Wars thing. Never seen Star Wars in my life. Never seen Yellowstone.
I mean, look, you're not missing anything. It's a good show.
Yes, to talk to you about a new pre-workout. It's not loaded with caffeine like a lot of the other pre-workouts, but it is based in nootropics, which actually helps brain functions. Going to get you ready for the workout. I'm a 5 a.m.er. I need it. A lot of flavors. Hit the link in the description. It'll take you to the website. You'll get a new dad order discount. Pick your flavor. Bunch of other products as well. They have canned energy drinks. So thanks for listening. Check out Dubby and get that workout in. So in that one right there, because that show started, 5-6 years ago, whatever it was, is the main character a strong man or is it a strong woman? I don't know anything about the show.
So the main character, John Dutton, the patriarch of the family, rarely shows vulnerability even with the family. Protector type. Provider. I guess his identity revolves more about protecting the ranch. So there was a ranch that they're protecting because I guess the park is like right next to his ranch, and he's always out there. He's got to protect it. Him and his sons and his daughter.
Who are they protecting this from?
Everybody.
Everybody just wants this.
They want to develop around it. They want to develop on it. Yeah.
And he's too dumb to sell it for millions upon millions of dollars.
No, he doesn't want to. It's been handed down generations and generations of
wouldn't selling it
Duttons.
Provide generational wealth.
They're making a lot of money on this thing. I don't know all.
No, I know.
All the details.
Well, I mean, the ultimate turn would be if he said episode 3, yep, we're selling it, then the show would be over.
Exactly. Right. There's no show if that would happen, right?
If he makes a reasonable decision, the show ends in the first episode.
Because that would have been a lot of money. You
think?
It's or the example of traditional masculinity. He was it.
Okay.
John Dutton was it, and his sons would follow in suit. Like his oldest son was right there with him, but of course his oldest son
see the mess up
had a quick.
He was a screw up.
No, he was not a screw up.
Oh, okay.
He was right there in his footsteps, but he died.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he died pretty quickly in the show.
There's usually the dumb son, the screw up, the one who cost the family wealth, the one who's always getting in situations they don't need to get in.
Yeah,
Dad's got to bail them out.
Yeah, well, he was authority driven, commands respect, makes hard decisions, often without explanation. Like, we're not going to sell.
Yeah,
emotionally restrained. His love for his children is clear, but he struggles to express it openly. Not very vulnerable. I guess it reflects the cowboy code.
Yeah, but it also makes sense too because he's a business owner. I mean the patriarch, but also too he owns a business. There's a certain level of respect and a certain level of leadership that you're supposed to show in that setting. If you're the guy calling the shots for it. the business. You own a business, stubborn in the sense that you're not going to allow someone to walk all over you. And if someone is smarter than you, you're smart enough to realize they're smarter than you, and you're going to apply things that they have said in a way to not be taken advantage of.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Well, and the other part of this too is he also took in different people to help run his ranch.
Mm-hmm.
And he took in the guy that is now the head of his ranch hands, I guess you could say, Rip Wheeler.
It's a great name.
Yeah, Rip Wheeler, who's another trad male. I guess I'm just going to read some stuff.
Term. What is that?
Another traditional
my bad, dog.
Traditional masculinity,
okay.
trad male.
All right, my bad.
He was his loyal enforcer. His role as John's right hand shows deep loyalty and discipline. Silent toughness, rarely verbalizes feelings.
But it's so cliche.
It is.
Violence, I don't know if I would like this show.
Violence as control. He often uses physical dominance to resolve conflict. About Rip, and he brought him in as an orphan, but didn't really adopt him. But he I guess he locked on to the characteristics of John Dutton. And now understand this, though. John Dutton, though he has all these kids, his wife has passed away, so he's a widow.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
They just click. They just like, hey, strong dad, takes no BS. Son died. He would have been the best leader ever. His right-hand man is some guy that he saved and was going down the wrong path.
That's correct.
And then...
Yep. And then he's got two other sons. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say...
Go ahead. And a daughter.
I was about to say, they have to have the strong female role. She must be a badass.
Yes.
And ruthless, just like her dad, but like in a different sort of way.
Yes.
I've never seen the show, dude.
Super intelligent.
Yes.
Right?
Smarter than everybody else, but yet almost acts like a dude.
Acts just like a dude. And is in love with Rip. And Rip is in love with her.
And they can't let that happen because John, what's he going to think with Rip
He's
dating
okay
his daughter?
with it. He's okay with it.
He is?
Yep.
Huh.
They eventually get married. Yeah, and that's
John
his
never got mad at Rip?
No.
They stayed tight the whole way through
because
the
of the respect that he had, that he showed her, and the respect that he showed John Dutton, because he went to him and explained all that to him.
So is Rip likable in this?
Very likable. At first, you're like, oh, I don't know. He's very likable because he knows how Beth Dutton is. There's a scene where he's in a bar, a girl hits on him, and he's like, you don't want to do that. She's like, why? My wife is right over there. Oh, let me go talk to her. He tells his boys, let's wrap it up. This is going to end badly. And then you see his wife take a bottle and whaps the girl across the face because she wanted it to be her, the wife, and the husband.
Gotcha.
Yeah. One of those kind of situations.
Just real life stuff.
And he knew what was going to happen. So, yeah, he's a likable guy. But then you have the two sons. You have Casey. That are alive, and you have Jamie. Jamie is the Weasley, the one that shows a lot of vulnerability. The one that is like, if that didn't happen to me, I would be this guy. If I didn't lose this case, he's a lawyer. If I didn't lose this case, I would be this guy.
And always being compared to his dead brother.
And then you got Casey Dutton, who was also vulnerable, went away to the military, came back as a special forces guy, and is now a stoic guy.
Oh, so but just ripped off the Godfather from that one.
There we go. And is now in love with a Native American, and
there's nothing wrong with that. We're good people.
Not at all. And is in love with a Native American, and she brings out the vulnerability in him.
Gotcha.
So you can see this traditional masculinity happening on this show called Yellowstone, and it's just it's full of
you really like this show.
I did. I really enjoyed it.
A lot of people did, and I mean,
I really enjoyed it.
I mean, I'm kind of making fun a little bit, but I mean, I would probably watch it. I mean, it doesn't seem like you need a lot of brain power to get through an episode.
No, it's just enjoyment. It's just watching. And look, you have some pretty good actors and actresses, portraying these characters.
So, I mean, even The Sopranos is pretty bad whenever you're rewatching and start really like. There's some. It's a comedy. If you didn't realize that.
For real?
The Sopranos, 100% a comedy. Mafia guy going through a midlife crisis. I mean, that's what the show's about.
That's right.
Yeah.
That is freaking right. I
mean,
didn't realize that.
It's not, mafia guy going through a midlife crisis, and he's very vulnerable, actually. Goes to a psychiatrist. That's not looked upon good.
Do they know? I didn't.
He gets found out that he goes. And
okay.
I think he killed a couple people because they found out he was going. And then even some of his guys, in his family, in his mafia family, hey man, Tony's talking to a shrink. And then the New York families are making fun of him because, they find out that he's talking to a psychiatrist. And
really,
yeah. So
making fun of vulnerability.
Yeah. So Johnny Sacks, that's the New York guy. He was part of him, making fun of Tony because he went to, he found out that Tony was seeing a psychiatrist.
Uh-huh.
And he's not the only one.
I watched some episodes, but I didn't get to see.
You didn't watch the whole Sopranos?
No, I didn't watch the whole thing.
Never missed an episode.
You ever see The Wire?
So The Wire, I couldn't get through. The first season was so bad.
What?
The second season. The second season. There was a season that was bad.
Is it probably the third season? No,
maybe. I don't know.
With the journalists.
Okay.
There was a bad season.
There was a bad season in there, and then I checked out after that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they always find a way to make somebody. But no, I mean, I think The Sopranos is probably one of the first ones where you talk about the guy that's in the alpha male, Tony Soprano, the boss of the mob family.
Yeah.
Was the most vulnerable character. He had panic attacks.
Yeah.
He was taking, medicine for his panic attacks, seeing a psychiatrist, and still killing people.
Always like a reaction to things. There was always a reaction to things, and usually that reaction was not there wasn't a good outcome, and then they had to fix it. That's what I remember.
Oh, well, I mean, that's the formula for every movie is conflict resolution.
Well, not just the conflict resolution. It's just how they well, yeah, you're right. Let me stop.
There is an aspect of, and I think that probably it has something to do with the fact of living in 2025, where we can't give you a complete definition of what masculinity is, to where if you would have asked our fathers and grandfathers of what masculinity means, and I think you'd have gotten their John Dutton, right? Dutton, that's their last name. Like they'd have given you John Wayne. That's masculinity. And I'm sitting here as a 40-something-year-old struggling to give you a 2025 definition of it, because I think the phrase it's changed so much of what it means. And we acknowledge vulnerable states. We acknowledge the fact that mental health is a thing. And when you have too much of one thing, meaning possibly too much quote unquote masculinity, is probably not a good thing. And when you have too much vulnerability, probably not a good thing either. There's definitely a balance. Trying to figure it out, never will. And you just hope that vulnerability that you expose to your spouse or to whoever you confide in allows you to not become chemically dependent more than anything, because I think that's the road that people have realized what happens whenever you try to be too masculine or try to take on the weight of the world, that eventually you break, so trying to have an outlet for that. Like I said, I think it's great. I think every guy needs to be a little bit on edge, but it's just whenever you get too far that way, bad things can happen, but I think it's okay. I think it's okay to not go through life thinking that everything is going to be great, that you're going to have some things that are going to push you to a certain point to make you vulnerable, but also make you man up in a spot and realize that you're only nervous because you're not prepared, like Kobe said. But no, Ray and I did not solve the world's problems. I did learn about the show Yellowstone and the very unoriginal writing that took place in it. But maybe I'll give it a watch, and Ray can watch the rest of The Sopranos. I don't know how you make it through the whole show, but that's horrible. I don't know. I'm judging you right now. But we do appreciate everyone for joining us. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a comment below. Also, make sure you follow us on Spotify as well. And until next time, we'll see you on
New Dad Order.